So I want to talk a little bit today about. Actually, I want to talk a little bit about legacy. So we had Wimbledon, and we didn't get to it last week. I want to talk a little bit about LeBron's legacy, and then we'll see where the show goes. But let's start with Wimbledon, which was an incredible final. I know, Sam, unfortunately you were working, so you didn't get a chance to actually watch it. I forgot that Wimbledon was on, so by the time I tuned in, it was 4-3 in the fifth set. And of course, we saw the fifth set go to 12-12, and then this was the first year that Wimbledon had a tiebreaker if it got up that high. So, first ever chance for a tiebreaker final. I believe John McEnroe was saying that it was the first men's final to ever be decided in a tiebreak as well, and it was just two titans of the sport going back and forth. But let me just ask you, Sam. I know you were following, I think, on Twitter or whatever. What was going through your head kind of when all that stuff was going on?
I mean, I was really going for Federer, and I was really bummed that I was at work. We were doing this upgrade, and we usually do these things on a slow day like a Sunday, just because there's usually issues, and we try to, have minimal impact. But I was following on Twitter because obviously I couldn't have a television out, and I really probably shouldn't have been following on Twitter. But yeah, I mean, I was really just, when you're doing the refresh thing, and I was just trying to keep, because I wanted to see Federer get it. I like seeing the guys that have been around for a long time that, we're used to seeing. It kind of helps me and us, like, I think with our age a little bit, when we see guys that, are in that same bracket still competing. Yeah, like Federer is literally our age, 37 and going on 38. And, yeah, I don't know. Like, I was watching it. Surprisingly, I was watching it and I was just taking it in because, I was looking before the finals. And I generally root for Federer over Nadal because in terms of, like, all-time, finals wins, right? All-time majors wins. Federer's first at 20, Nadal's second at 18, and Djokovic is third. I think he's at 16 now after this Wimbledon. And then, Sampras is next at 14. So the big three, so they say, are the top three in the history, and they're going to keep winning. And then I started looking at age, and you got Federer at like 37, 38. You got Nadal at 33 and Djokovic at 32. Now Nadal seems like an old 33 to me. Like he's kind of run down and injured. But the thing I hold against Nadal is he's got like 12 French Opens. And it's great for him. It's great that he's the best clay court player of all time. But in terms of legacy, I would think it would be just a little odd to me if Nadal ends up the all-time majors champion and he ends up with like 16 French Opens and like one of everything else. It just seems cheap to me. So in that regard, I like it when it's spread out as well. Yeah, but on the other hand, then you have Djokovic and you have Federer. They both have one French Open title to their credit, and then basically, it's Nadal has all of the other ones during this string. But yeah, I mean, I like them better when it's spread out. It's just a little odd, and what I kind of find interesting now is. Like for a while, Djokovic could beat Nadal, Nadal could beat Federer. And Federer could beat Djokovic, and now it's like a little bit changed. Now Federer can beat Nadal, and Djokovic can beat Federer, but nobody can beat Nadal on clay, and that's just kind of how it's going. I tend to think that Nadal's going to get more majors than Federer because I don't know if Federer is going to get another one at this point. What do you think? Yeah, no, I think this was the one that he had to grab for. This was the one that was up there for him. He was in a good place for it, and two match points. Yeah. So I feel like this is the one that he definitely should have had. But yeah, I mean, it's not a guarantee that Nadal, is going to get one either. Like you said, he's broken down, but I feel like he'll squeak out a few more. What do you know, like how close they are in majors? Nadal, I believe Nadal's at 18, Federer's at 20. And so Nadal, if he wins 3 more French Opens, which I think he'll do, even if his body's breaking down and he never wins another one, I think Nadal will get, his 3 more French. So I think Nadal end up at 21. If I had to guess though, I think Djokovic is actually going to end up with the most, which is odd because we've always been thinking the last 10 years, Nadal and Federer, and Djokovic has won 4 of the last 5 or 5 of the last 6 or something like that. And
right.
He's going to be, now that we're living in the age of extended physical prime, he probably has another 3 years of physical prime where he could win, reasonably win 2 to 3 a year for the next 3. That gets you to 22, man. It's interesting. It's really interesting what's going on in tennis right now, I think.
Yeah, no, and I was like I said, I was really bummed I could watch it. I couldn't watch it because I think I was pretty much primed that Nadal was going to grab this one, and I was like, it's probably going to be his last one. Just because in 37, man, that's ancient in tennis.
Yeah, it is. Yes,
we haven't seen any of these guys that we grew up watching
stay that long,
continue being that good for that long. So I really think, he's, he might be the best. So, we'll see.
We'll see. I think I'll always think of Federer as the greatest tennis player of my lifetime, even if Nadal and Djokovic pass him, which I think they will. And I think Federer, because he had to beat back Nadal, he had to beat back Djokovic in his prime, and he had to kind of fight off Andy Roddick, who I think is historically underrated because of how good Federer was.
Mm-hmm.
I for my money, I just, even if the major counts don't add up, I think it's Federer, even over Djokovic. Maybe Djokovic can pass him, but I just don't think Nadal's going to be able to do enough in my mind to pass me, even if he passes Federer in total majors won. But I guess we'll see. That's what the debate is, right? So
very true.
Very true.